You have come here from all over the world because society has no further use for you. The international prison system has given up all hopes of your rehabilitation. This place will now be your holding pen until your death. Because death is the only way out. There is no chance of reprieve here, no possibility of escape. You are condemned. Either accept it or die.
Sheesh.
There's nothing funny about sinus infections.
This is Film Sack. Oh, sure.
A reminder that new music is because we keep getting demonetized and DMCA takedown for the classical song. Just a reminder to people out there who haven't been paying attention. All right? I know you miss it. I know you like the classical. I know.
Sometimes you just gotta evolve.
Sometimes you have to change, like this dumb movie. All right. Hey. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Film Sack. This is Film Sack, mining the very depths of film entertainment for all mankind, and this is episode 688. I'm Scott Johnson, joined today by Brian. It's like Waterworld, except with land and turkeys and bad casting done away.
Oh, it's paper. Oh, hi.
Hi.
This week on Film Sack, we can find no escape from this 1999 action sci-fi outdoor prison movie, now fleeing from his 158 minutes of level 6 penal punishment and sockless feet on Amazon Prime. I'm going Lord of the Flies away from this penitentiary peninsula like an outsider on the insider of the look on baby Dylan's face when I stabbed him. His mouth said, kill me so I could escape, but his eyes said, why you dead me, friend? Baby Dylan drown. Oh, baby Dylan is so down. Anywho, I was spending a lot of time thinking about what I did to land myself on this penile colony. I decided I would put all of that energy into designing a thing to make this shithole even shittier. So if you don't mind, stand here and hold this bar of wood as I fit you for a ring of broken glass neck platter and have my assistant set up the leg calf agitator, aka broken glass and pointy sticks on a board that whacks you right in the wince maker when I pull this hemp rope. Maybe I do belong here. Randy, will you stand with me on the wall, for moral support? Gosh, you have dreamy eyes.
The wince maker.
The wince maker. I love it. Oh my gosh.
That's great.
The wince maker.
I'm going to get one for, I'm going to ask for that for my birthday this year. Also with us, Randy, how in the hell did this director make Casino Royale, Jordan?
Aloha, Scott, Brian. Welcome, men. And I mean, of course, you're all men because there are no women in the entire world. We are in a Lord of the Flies situation, and Piggy is a badass. And weirdly, some of these island inhabitants have really good short haircuts. Yeah, I don't know either. Let me introduce myself. My name is San Diego Padre, which in English translates to Saint Tiago Daddy. People only call me Daddy if I've told you you've earned the right to call me Daddy. Everyone else should call me King. Because I guarantee a tribe of feral men would love to refer to one of their own as King. So, you're going to be fine, as long as you follow my 3 daddy rules. Number 1, decide who's leader and who's second in command the way God intended. Violent combat. Every mealtime, you fight for your food. Beating up the guy serving the chow line, now you're the chow line server. Number 2. Decide what everyone's wearing the way God intended. Violent combat with small sea creatures. Go to war with small shelled creatures, and when you kill them, decorate your armor with the seashells. You're a warrior. Number 3. Decide who will consummate nightly marriages between men the way God intended. Violent sexual combat. Enough said.
Wow.
The dudes were all having sex, guys.
They sure were.
Oh.
I mean, they, I assumed. Let's put it that way. All right, nicely done. Also with us, we have Brian. He calls this beach Wet Dreams Ibit.
Ooh, I do, and it's the best. All right, listen. I've been taking a lot of cold medicine this week, and I really found this entertaining. And maybe after I am off cold medicine, I won't find this as entertaining. But anyway, I was particularly transfixed by a member of the cast, the starring member of the cast. And you can see that photo that Brian Dunaway put in our Discord. And listeners, you can Google Ray Liotta and enjoy.
Yeah, dude. That was awesome. You know what? You sounded great. I don't think the cold interfered that much, although you chose a pretty high register song for this.
I did. And what's funny is you don't really think, like, when I think of Steve Miller Band, I don't think, oh, well, I got to have a lot of range, because Steve Miller did not have a lot of range. He stayed in, there was one octave that he stayed in. Sadly, I'm about half an octave lower right now with the way my voice is.
That's great.
My theory is that the entire point of the song Jet Airliner was to try to get the S word onto the radio.
Yeah, it really was, because it don't want to get caught up in any of that funky shit going down in the city. By the way, cover. Steve Miller Band was not the original version of Jet Airliner. It was by a guy named Paul Pena.
They changed some words, right? Steve Miller changed some words?
I don't know if he did or not, actually. I've got the Paul Pena version, but I don't know.
I'm still reeling from the headline that it's a cover. I had no idea. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I've seen like Steve Miller 101, like it had to be him. That's crazy.
It's possible that he didn't have the funky shit going down the city, and then you'd get the radio station that would change it to funky kicks going down in the city, which is just wrong.
Yeah. I kind of agree. It is wrong. But I'll tell you what's not wrong. Us covering this shit movie. Oh, before I do get into that, let me just quickly say that the Brian Ibbett Sessions Year 1 collection that we put up, you have 5 days to nab that, everybody. If you haven't gotten it yet and you want those 45 songs in your life from last year's
why don't you?
I know, honestly. What's stopping you, really? $9.99 is the price, and it is up at frogpants.shop, and it is there for 5 more days, and then it goes into the Disney Vault, or our version of that.
Great. Listen, I am so flattered by the folks who've bought it so far, and what's wrong with you people, and thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's digital, so we only have so many copies left, everybody. So get in there.
I have to report every copy that I sell to ASCAP and BMI.
That's right. Some false, what do they call that? False, available. No, what's it called? There's a word for this.
Yes, it's scarcity.
Scarcity.
Right?
False. We got a little false scarcity going on, and we're willing to admit it, but also we are pulling it down in 5 days. So get in there, be a part of the fun, and grab it for this year. You'll be able to get next year, which will include the song you just heard. Yeah. So.
I heard Scott, fun grabbing.
Maybe a newly recorded version on that one. We'll see after.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Well, all right. I'm going to let Fake Fletcher go first before we get any further about this film and explain what the hell we saw. It is No Escape from 1994, and this is a weird Fake Fletcher. I keep saying it wrong. I do it every week. It's fine. Here we go.
On this week's episode of Film Sack, we watch a 1994 movie called No Escape. A soldier convicted for murdering his commanding officer is dumped and left to die on a prison island inhabited by 2 camps of convicts. Ray Liotta paying them bills. Yeah.
All right.
Sure. Wow, turn into an old Southern lady. What's going on? That's
an old Southern lady. But also, we're going to Henry Higgins territory.
Yeah.
Some Pygmalion. Yeah.
And not even. It's like your friend that tries to do an accent and he's bad at it but doesn't know it, and you just sort of let him do it. It's like that.
It sounds like your friend who just spent the whole summer in Australia and they come back with a weird mishmash.
Yeah.
You know what? Dunaway's not wrong though. I hear my mother-in-law in that a little bit. It's weird. I hear
the very end.
Yeah, the Southern Mississippi in the end of that. But yeah, he or she or it is losing its mind. The Fake Fletcher machine rolls on. Anyway, the movie is No Escape, directed by somehow, inexplicably, Martin Campbell. Again, I mean, he's a mixed bag. We know that. We've talked about this before. But how are you the guy that made, the rebooted 2 different times the Bond franchises to great success? You did it with GoldenEye and you did it again with freaking Casino Royale, which is arguably for a lot of people the best one ever. And then you make these things in between everything.
Okay,
And GoldenEye was the
counterpoint.
year after this. Like 1 year separated GoldenEye from No Escape.
Yeah, how's that possible? I don't get it.
I have a counterpoint, and that is that this is our 6th Martin Campbell movie on FilmSack, and we've seen all of his garbage.
Yeah.
Like we're this belongs in the FilmSack list. I'm surprised we didn't watch it earlier. He directed the Green Lantern that we saw, and he directed both of the Zorro movies that we saw. Like, I think of Martin Campbell as this very reliable, middling director for stuff like this.
I think the directing was okay. Most of the movie was okay, but I think I haven't finished analyzing it in my head. But I think the screenplay is where this mostly falls. It's based on a story or a book that's probably more fleshed out, that really explores the corporate aspect of it and kind of compares and contrasts that to this Lord of the Flies kind of thing. And I think that is probably an interesting story point that develops characters that you just don't get in the screenplay, that just kind of
because there are parts of it, like when it started, I actually got excited. I was like, look at this desert and this weird rail system and this prison out in the middle of nowhere and this
you can't look through the window slot.
Yeah.
Eyes forward. Eyes forward.
Yeah, all of this stuff was interesting. Like they really started, I think, strong, cheesy but strong in the kind of like apocalyptic sort of tale zone. And I was all in. I was like, all right, let's go. And then they got to the forest and I went, I hate it out here. This is the worst part of this movie is out
Hunger
here.
Games did this idea so well in a little different direction, but that whole mishmash of corporation has turned individuals into basically
Privatize
privatize all of this. I mean, but screenplay I think failed here. Acting's fine.
The acting's fine.
Shots are fine.
I mean, do you think Ray
there's a
Liotta?
couple-
You did a whole song about it just now, Brian. But do you think Ray Liotta was the right call? Like, it feels so out of place to me. I don't know why.
Oh, really? No, I like him in this. I mean, we're used to seeing Ray Liotta as a gangster, as an unhinged bad guy, but he fits as kind of like this ex-military, kind of in it for himself until till the change of heart halfway through the third act. But I think he's a good character or a good actor for this. I mean, I think this probably could have been about a dozen different people around this time, 1994.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody to stretch.
Could have been any of the Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah. True.
That's true. That's true. I don't know.
Maybe not Tim Roth. Maybe not. But
no.
Oh, he would have been awesome.
He might have been all. I don't know. I'm with Brian. I think that's that would be a weird.
And I think you use your Michael Madsen for not that I want to replace the guy who played Merrick, because I think Merrick is the best thing about this movie. But
by far.
Yeah, but
I just want to know where they're getting all their electricity from. They have so much electricity on this island, and I don't get it.
Where are they getting their rhythm and blues selection too? Because they got like records playing.
Right?
And,
how come they use a quill to write, yet they've got Walkman blaring?
Did anyone
Motown.
else?
Yeah.
Did anyone else decide it must just be Gilligan's Island technology?
Oh, that's great! Like the professor's just cranking a record player made out of bamboo or something like that. I love that.
They kind of showed a little bit.
Yeah,
you assume it's all stuff that like came off of sunken cruise ships and crashed planes and things like that, things that washed ashore, and so they're just making good with bad teeth dude, who apparently you'd think one of the most common things that would wash ashore in a suitcase is a toothbrush.
Yeah,
but,
dude. Yeah,
apparently not.
That was really bad. That made me want to go brush my teeth for real. Just looking at it.
Really did. I know.
Yeah.
Because,
Nasty.
and I know we've seen that guy in a billion things.
He's talking about not Ian McNeice. Is it Ian McNeice? The bigger guy, right? The guy.
Oh, me, because King.
The guy
talking about
the guy who kicks the little person.
Oh, you're talking about Kevin J. O'Connor.
Basically Q on the island.
Yeah.
Right.
I want those boots, but I'm going to give you a bag of slightly bruised potatoes for him.
That guy, yeah, he had crazy teeth. The dude I'm thinking of, King, the kind of bigger guy who turncoated on everybody. Ian McNeice. He is. I was like, why do I know him? Why do I know him? And it was because he was the Harkonnen. He was Harkonnen in the miniseries of Dune.
So you're talking about the guy with the massive fat under his chin.
Yes, that guy. Right. And the Dune miniseries on Sci-Fi Channel back in like 2001 or whatever, he played Baron Harkonnen in that. and it was so familiar. I just could not. It was driving me nuts, and I was just like, I got to pause this, and I went and looked it up. And sure enough, not to be confused with the guy from the Dune movie, totally different guy.
Right.
A totally different guy. This guy also played Winston Churchill in quite a few episodes of Doctor Who, and on a podcast series called The Churchill Years that I don't think
Oh wow!
it was completely separate from the Doctor Who TV show. It was just a Doctor Who podcast.
He's one of those actors that gets called to play Churchill whenever they need him. Timu Churchill is what he is.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking about how I would have a plastic surgeon remove that thing under my chin.
Yeah, I would probably do that.
Your waddle?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm vain because
or turn it into storage. Like, how great would it be to like keep a flask in there? And
this man's made an entire career out of that waddle. Come on.
He's had it for a long time. It is like you put a zipper in there and keep your change in there. Is what you do. That's how you do it.
And the most memorable shot of the film for me is him standing on the grass with the helicopter landing, and that fat under his chin is getting blown.
That is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's funny though that you've got a guy who's British who has an unusual look to him, and they never used him for any of the Harry Potter films. He feels like he would be,
I keep thinking I've seen him in the wrong places. It's always in something else.
Oh, that's a good point. He looks like who's the recently departed actor who played he
could have been the Dursley, right? Like the Dursley guy.
The Dursley guy could have been Hagrid, just put a beard on him.
Take care of that waddle.
He kind of looks like that guy who was also in, funny enough, he's also in Goldeneye, the guy who played Hagrid. So we're kind of in a circle here.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Anyway, yeah, it's full of people I like. Like I like him as an actor, as an interesting character actor. I really like Lance Henriksen kind of in anything. He's kind of my dude. I like that guy a lot.
Go to.
Yeah. Never get tired of him. Other people, like Kevin J. O'Connor, Ray Liotta, obviously. Kevin Dillon, I don't know.
Kevin Dillon during his Entourage. This is like right before Entourage. Yeah.
Babyface.
Never sacked a Kevin Dillon movie. This is our first.
Because he was not in stuff nearly as much as his brother.
Yeah, he's younger.
Yeah.
Dunaway.
Is he the youngest Dillon? Because they've got just like 4 or 5.
I don't know if he's the youngest Dillon, but he's the younger Dillon.
Oh, I didn't know I didn't realize there was a younger Dillon. I thought I'm younger than I thought they were the only two Dillons, as far as I knew. But
yeah, I don't know if there is another Dillon, but I know that he's younger than Matt. That's all I know.
There's only two I think there's only 2 famous actor Dillons. There's other siblings that are Dillons too, but
he didn't show up in Entourage. Well, see, Entourage was 2015, so that was much later.
Oh wow, was that much later?
Yeah, it says here.
The Entourage movie
I'm thinking of the movie, not the show. You're right. When is the show? The show would have been.
Let's say the show started in 98, 99.
Let's see. Where is it? The Entourage TV series, 2004.
2004.
10 years.
Same year as Lost.
Yeah, so 10 years later, this thing.
Oh.
Yeah, he's my problem with him isn't that he's a bad actor or anything. I think he's fine. I think Kevin Dillon is a fine actor. I just see his brother in an uncanny way when I see him. Yeah. So he's like a weird computer generation of his brother, and it's weird. I don't like it. It makes me feel funny.
It's not his fault. I just saw Matt first. It's not Kevin's fault.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's 100% true.
They're similar traits.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I also really like Ernie Hudson, and unironically, I like him. I think he's great. He's Lava Tubes. We love him.
Lava Tubes.
But in this, it's a pretty limited role. It's nothing too nuts for him. Trivia.
He's very well shaved for someone who lives on an island.
Yeah,
and
a lot of people, lady shavers, right?
I don't know. I really did spend the entire movie wondering how all of these people's hair was so short and their faces were so shaved. Like the entire movie, because there's some characters that aren't. There's some characters with huge, long, bushy beards, and I'm just like, "What's going on, guys? I need an explanation."
Well, the guys on the the evil side, they had no access. Yeah, they had no access to razors over there. They were all hairy as hell in the Stuart Wilson side, the Merrick side. But on the other side, they were so clean shaven that you'd swear like epiladies were there, or they had electric access to like shavers or something. Because like even Lance Henriksen, I've never seen him look so trim and tidy. Like a little too clean on their side, if I'm honest. But man, I love him so much. He could read me a freaking phone book, and I'd just sit there and stare into his eyes. Oh.
I like to think that that Ian McNeice just kind of goes around the camp and shakes everybody. I think that's
Oh, you
He
like
gets the gossip. Gets
Yeah.
the gossip. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
Gets
what's
the
going on.
Hot goss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Okay, so
spilling
we've
the
solved
tea.
that. Now I need an answer. I need an answer to how they're feeding all these people. Because they
Cruel.
depicted it a little bit,
Right.
but
right.
the feeding of your tribe would be a massive undertaking.
Oh yeah,
So,
and they
there's
all
90 of them. There's like oats, lots of oats. I don't know who's growing the oats
Yeah,
and where
they're-
they're getting the.
They never really showed like a little farm area. I know
No,
they showed
they
like
did when he
pigs
came
and chickens
when he
and-
came out of the
Some
forest. When he came out of the forest, there was like a layout of rows of something, but it wasn't
Okay.
it wasn't
So, yeah,
clear
they're
what was
growing
going on there. Yeah, it was just kind of like general.
You would have to have your farm inside your walls. That's
You would
another
think,
thing.
right.
Like,
Yeah.
otherwime the raiders will just come burn it down all the
Oh, yeah,
time.
for sure.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever. I just
Or take your crops or something.
the
Right.
movie wants to do two things. It wants to be one half of these people are like Mad Max. The other half are like villagers in a sweet little town. Like,
Village people. They're
Yeah.
like village
Yeah,
people. They're
village
literally
people.
listening to village
Literally
people
like
on the radio.
that's true. I really like, speaking of the connections, though, we do have a Mad Max connection. Jack Shepard, Jack Shepard, who played Dysart in this,
Yeah.
was in Mad Max 2.
He's our engineer, right?
Yeah. He's doing the
Dysart.
engine and stuff. Yeah. He's a Mad
He's
Max guy,
Dyson.
though. I mean, they filmed this somewhere in Australia, so a lot of these guys are Australian actors. But that guy was in Mad Max. I think it was in Road Warrior. I could be wrong. It might be Thunderdome, but he's been around that block a little bit.
Scott, I'm going to challenge you
Go.
to name 4 movies starring Lance Hendrickson that we have sacked. You have 7 to choose from.
All right. Aliens. We'll start easy. Aliens. He is Ace Hanlon in Quick and the Dead. Love that movie.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good call.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Year after this one, actually. 95, I think. And then you got your oh shit. Now it gets weird. Oh my gosh.
Now it's weird.
Hard Target. Bad guy in Hard Target.
Very good.
Loved him in that.
Great.
Yeah, loved him in that. Alien 3, because he's sort of in it.
He does get a credit in Alien 3. I'll give
he's
you that.
at the very end. Yeah.
And then
He shows up. He's 2 people in Alien 3. He's Bishop's head, and then he's the dude. What? Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then 4 he wasn't in. So then no more aliens. I think we're out of aliens. How many am I missing?
You're good. You win.
Oh, all right.
You win.
He's this is our 8th Lance Henriksen film, and I just could not place him in Close Encounters of the Third Kind at all.
I can't
about
either.
that.
I would have never thought
Isn't
that.
like it's
Oh, really?
early on, right? Like in the desert, isn't he like
Small
is that what
role.
I'm thinking of?
I don't know.
No,
this is
Or one
news
of
to me.
One of the
Kind of on the
agents or
outside.
something.
Yeah, he's around the outside.
I don't remember this at all. Let's see if I can find
Yeah.
an
I
image of it.
just don't remember him. He's not in the top build cast. It just doesn't ring a bell.
Here's I think I found it.
Oh, good.
I kind of remember now, and I remember now us bringing it up, but real briefly. I don't think we made a big deal out of it, but here it is. It is kind of a background shot in this. He's in the back rear right there. See him back there?
Yeah.
So he was part of like the government, like the suits that were always questioning Dreyfus and all that.
I'm just gonna sit back here.
Yeah. I'm back here. I'm back here, Ripley. Ripley, I'm back here.
Back Henderson.
Back Henderson. Henderson.
Henderson's.
I like him better as Back Henderson. That should be his name. That's really funny. I just love him. So you can never have me like, he's one of those actors that you can say, "Hey Scott, we're going to watch the worst movie." And I'll say, "Oh, really?" And then you'll say, "But Lance Henriksen is in it." And I'll say, "Well,
Right.
then I'm in. I'm all in because I love him. I'll watch him in anything. I love him in freaking even when his face isn't around. I like him in Tarzan, the Disney Tarzan as Kerchak. He's an amazing character in that.
Oh, that's right.
Did you guys watch what was the TV shows, the other
Yes,
like the
my
X-Files like
Millennium.
Millennium.
Yeah.
Millennium
Millennium.
is so good. He made that so good.
Yeah, Millennium
I never watched
deserved.
any of that.
It deserves so
Never?
much more. It got canceled way too early. It was so cool.
Yeah, I think two or 3 seasons or something like that.
Yeah. It got cut short. It was fantastic though. But that was a X-Files creator guy's thing.
Chris Carter thing.
Chris
yeah.
Carter. Yeah,
He's cat.
it's a bummer that didn't.
I wonder if it holds. I haven't watched it in so long. I loved it back during the 90s, but I can't remember.
Wonder if it's streaming anywhere. Maybe that could be a fun binge just to see if it does hold up.
Yeah, it's a fun like pre-Lost kind of you know,
The mystery box, basically.
Yeah.
The mystery box TV series.
which I guess, X-Files kind of innovated that too, but it's really good. I thought it was. I also worry about it holding up.
Yeah.
I'm not
Only
sure.
saw it while it was running. Never saw it after that. So
Yeah.
not streaming anywhere, unfortunately, but I'm sure there are complex
that's not
ways
good
of watching it.
Yeah, there are probably really perplexing options out there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
By the way, Ray Liotta agreed to take on this lead role of Robbins, according to the trivia, because he had always wanted to do an action movie where he played a heroic character for once. It's interesting. I guess he was heroic. I don't know. Yeah. I just felt like I was looking at Henry Hill the whole time from Goodfellas, just being all Henry Hill-like, and he just made a lot of Henry Hill faces. And other than the drug use and the kind of crash at the end of that movie, he just reminded me of Henry Hill. I couldn't get over it. I guess, you know what, though? This is a problem with all his other movies, except when he got older. When he's old, before his death, in movies and stuff, I like that a lot. There's like it's transformative. For whatever reason, his age helped me get into those roles. But when he's this age, they all just look like stuff that's not as good as Goodfellas. And it just throws me.
It reminded me, though, when I was looking up other Liotta performances, I'd forgotten about this one where, and I'm going to try and find the name of it really quick, where he's a police officer that is called to investigate a break-in or something at Kurt Russell and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio's house, I think. Unlawful Entry.
Oh, okay.
Madeline Stowe, not Mastrantonio, Madeline Stowe. And it basically is breakdown with Kurt Russell, but in a house. Basically, he kind of separates the two of them. He keeps Kurt Russell away from the wife while he makes his designs on the wife and that sort of thing. Perfect film sack film.
That sounds great. Did we see we watched Hannibal? Because he got his brain eaten in Hannibal. Did we do that?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think we did watch Hannibal because I've only seen Hannibal once and it was in the theaters.
Yeah,
that scene is disturbing though.
It's a very disturbing scene. Yeah.
Yeah. Have a bite of your own brain.
Could have sworn we
did.
Thank you. Nom, nom, nom. My that's one of these where I'd swear on my life we did it. Hannibal. Yeah, we did.
No. Well, like I said, I've only seen it the one time, and it was in theaters when it first came out.
Weird.
I'd totally be up for watching that again.
Hell yeah, I'd be down.
Hell yeah!
This movie takes place in the year 2022, so that's when it's set. Is 2022? He passed away. He passed away the same year the movie set. That's kind of sad. Died May 26th of a couple years ago.
Quit the cigarettes, kids.
Yeah, don't smoke. Yeah. He smoked a lot.
He did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. By the end, it looked like it.
He liked it too.
Oh, he loved it.
He was known as Ray Liotta, former smoker.
Yeah,
all those commercials.
That's right. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure either the damage was done or he relapsed. I'm not sure what happened there. Who
probably
knows?
Damage done.
Yeah, probably damage done. You smoke enough, you're gonna. Then you got these weirdos who live to 95 and smoke every day, and they're like, "I proven that it's all bullshit." Yeah, it's like, yeah, Mr. Outlier. You ever heard of that word?
Right. Smoking's the only thing that's holding me together.
That's right. We talked about this offline, or not in the show, but there's a video game based on this for the Genesis and Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
With the same name, called that. It was published by Psygnosis and ImageSoft, and it was 94 came out, did not get good reviews.
Surprise.
Yeah. I went and got it. It's real bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
So here's the topic, though.
Yeah.
Oh. Does the existence of a game like this in that time frame, in the mid 90s, does it indicate that someone thought they had a blockbuster hit movie when they set out to do it, or does it just indicate someone had a big marketing budget and they blew a bunch of it sending it over to a video game
such
studio?
A great question. If this was like Atari days, I would say the latter, because that's what happened with E.T. Right, E.T. was a terrible video game, but it was really just a marketing pay, is all that was. But in the 90s, mid 90s, we are well into an industry that is you're not just goofing around. Although plenty of shovelware, but if you're going to get licensed for Nintendo and Sega, the two leading platforms, you don't just throw it out there. So I think they thought they had something cooler here than they had, is what I think.
Totally.
They definitely, because this was SNES time, so that meant that you had to take all the risk of getting those things made because Nintendo locked everything down. So you had to take all the risk. If you ordered a bunch of carts, guess who's paying for that? not Nintendo.
Nope. In fact, you
but yeah,
paid
this looks
Nintendo
very
for the honor of having it on their system. That's how it worked. You paid them a licensing fee,
Right.
and then you were responsible for everything else as a third party. So it didn't sell well. Clearly, no one's ever heard of it. And I've got a pretty good brain for the history of games, and I had no idea till we saw this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to love seeing those. Like the SNES covers are so fun when they do these crossovers with movies and stuff, because they always put the pictures of the movies on it, and you're like, why?
I know, right? I love that though.
So this is not what you're going to get inside, right? This is a 16-bit system. We're going to get not this.
It's funny though. This director is responsible for what could be one of the worst games of the SNES and one of the best games for the Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at it's just a side-scrolling punch it up. That's all it is. Not a good one.
Yeah.
I downloaded it and played it for a hot minute and went, okay, this is bad.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I didn't even do that much. I just scrubbed through YouTube and said, well, that was neat.
Well done.
I don't know how many bad 90s movies have tie-ins like this.
All of them.
I mean,
so many, too many.
Yeah.
The movie, I just want to touch on the movie. Really, only has a couple of action sequences. There's some action moments, right? Like the very beginning of the movie, there's a little bit of action.
Yeah,
but it doesn't. The movie doesn't justify a video game, which especially this kind of video game requires a great deal of action, right? Like you have to have this big action-oriented goal for a video game. Yeah. And the movie is a lot more. You're trapped on an island, and you're trying to make a society. Like it's really about talking to people.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, that's it. I mean, there's things like that I wish they explored more. Like, how do you do this? Like, how do you make this work with a bunch of former prisoners who have killed people? Like they're supposed to be the worst criminals that you can have, and whatever. Ray Liotta's he's got cloudy morals, because I can't really tell if he's like, did they make it clear that what he did to get thrown in prison was actually criminal?
Yeah, but they described it exactly. They in the 90s, they predicted that 2011 would have violence in Benghazi, and they were right.
Yeah.
And he was a military guy who shot his own officer because he got an unlawful order, and the unlawful order was truly awful, and so he got thrown out of the military and tried for murder. And like the guy has this very clear sense of morals and ethics, but like that it's all based on this one little story. Like you're supposed to just believe in him the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So that was the idea, though. It's like supposed to be morally ambiguous, but you did the crime, but it was a righteous crime because you were defying an order that would have been Holocausty.
Right.
I don't know. I just never felt that enough. Like that's a trope in a lot of movies, right?
Yeah.
Lots of movies do
it. The flashbacks where he's like reliving it, re-experiencing it all the time, but it's
so vague.
Yeah.
It's so vague, and it's presented so quickly. Like, oh, here's what I did, and I want to go make it right. Okay, go make it right. But
and it was also there was the only scene with a woman. By the way, the thing makes a big deal. Randy brought it up too, but the trivia makes a big deal about how there's not a single woman in the movie, but there is one, and that is in his flashback. There's a silhouette of a lady and a kid, and that's it. That's all you get.
Burning lady.
Burning lady.
Burning dead lady.
There's not even a credit for burning lady. She just
burning shaped lady.
Yeah,
that's all she gets.
Yeah. Sorry, Randy, I cut you off at the pass there. Didn't mean to do that.
I think the real question is always not what does the script make of this character? What did Ray Liotta and Martin Campbell make of this character? Mm-hmm. And I just don't really think they sat down and examined the character very much. No. I think they were really focused on everything looking badass and feeling the tension when you realize that he's up to something, and when he says that he can fly a helicopter, you start getting a bunch of tension, and like that is all the movie is about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if the trivia is to be believed, Campbell says he did this movie because it says right here, he turned it down twice, finally took the job because he needed the money to buy a house. And he said this. So at first I was like, scrutiny. But then I looked it up. It's in a podcast called the Movies That Made Me podcast, which is pretty popular.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Josh Olson, I think, is the host. Anyway, 2021. So it's recent that you said this. And I mean, that's quite a thing to admit. Like, I needed an expensive house, and that paycheck was
honesty.
all right.
I would do it. You know,
Yeah.
direct a movie that you kind of know is crap, but you get a house. Yeah, I'll do it.
I think I would too. Yeah, my morals will extend that far. That's not even a moral question. It's just like, how am I going to pay for this house? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it with Ray Liotta freaking No Escape money. That's how I'm going to do it.
Right. Like if, obviously if the subject matter still has to be within my morals, like I'm not going to do a...
Right. You got a range, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're talking about a apocalyptic.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it sounds like fun. Great.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. And maybe that means you don't try that hard. I'm not saying
right. Let's just use CGI helicopters. I want to go home early today. Let's just use some CGI.
I'm not trying to buy a mansion here. I'm just trying to get
right.
a ranch style house, come on.
Yeah, and I would, argue this is right. Let's see, when was the first Zorro? That was later, right? Zorro movie was later. The first Zorro movie, pretty good. It's okay. Second one, really phoned in. Like this, we've said this already, but this dude, Martin Campbell, real all over the place. It's like amazing this, kind of terrible that, middling this, great this. Like Vertical Limit is pretty fun. That's a fun movie. Didn't we saw Vertical Limit here, right?
I think so.
I'm having a hard time today with memories of these things. But then
I know I've learned to not be definitive.
I do not have Vertical Limit in my memory of film.
Okay. All right.
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Drop Zone's probably what I'm thinking of. But you do Legend of Zorro in 2005, which was not good compared to the other one. And then Casino Royale the next year, like how is that possible? And then you go Green Lantern, what a piece of shit!
Wow, yeah.
And then he makes that Last Resort show, which was pretty good. Like the guy's all over the place, is all I'm saying. Oh, The Foreigner, which we just watched, the Jackie Chan thing, that was good.
Wow, that was him too. Wow,
yeah, good movie, recent too. Anyway, now he's got something out right now this year or last year called Dirty Angels, and it's terribly reviewed.
Dirty Angel.
4.3. It's got people I like. Eva Green, Ruby Rose. I like her. Anyway, sorry, Randy. Go ahead.
First time for our both the novel writer and our screenplay writers on FilmSack, and they didn't really do a lot notable. These guys. So the novel was written by Richard Hurley. And then the screenplay was written by Michael Galen and Joel Gross. I like going back to Brian Dunaway's very first thing. I just lay it all at the feet of the script. There was not a very good script here. It really feels like a movie where people sat down at a table and said, "All right, we're going to an island, and we got a bunch of dudes." Like they summarized a lot. And you feel like you're seeing a lot of summary shots and summary scenes.
Yeah.
His very first experiences on the island, he actually starts yelling at people for asking him questions. Like, you need to be telling me what's going on here. Right. And I was like the same. Yeah, movie. The movie. I wish the movie was telling me instead of asking me to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I like a movie that knows how to ask that question. And this one is not that great at it.
It felt like the choices they made were always to cut the script. It's like, oh, we could film this, but it's like, cut it. We don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the story. But you did.
Yeah.
Because it lost all the soul.
Having said that, I want to ask you guys a question.
Yeah.
Was anyone else very pleasantly surprised that the gun blows up half the island?
Oh,
I loved that. I could not believe that gun delivered. I was like, wow,
what does that even mean about that? Like, what's in it?
And then where was all that destruction? I know he said at the end, well, I'll stick around to help you guys rebuild and all that, but like you look around, they're all just coming out of the other houses, the other structures. Like, all right, what actually did blow up?
Yeah, it's also really bad effect. It looks so bad.
It really did.
There's caves nearby or something. I kind of want to know more about the cave training. I feel like I missed out on that entire. We didn't even get to see. This is how poorly they didn't want to shoot things or to stretch certain things because we didn't even get to meet the boat people.
Yeah.
We didn't even get to. We just saw a thing floating out there, so no emotional
we were
attachment.
told. We were
I thought
told
the
you get
first
on
one
the
was
boat.
unmanned, right?
No, that one was from the cave people, but you never met them. He literally said that. Oh, don't worry about it. Don't be
Oh,
upset.
right. The cave
never
people
get
that were
met.
specially trained and were going to be like
Yeah,
their little
yeah.
commando guys, and they were out there for a long time getting good, and then they got blown up. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So that was a real wave away because we never got to see this like elite fighting force they were supposedly training. It was simple just
Cave
to blow them
people in
off.
the bucket.
Yeah. Yeah. Those are it. That's our chicks in the bucket, dude. I'm sorry, but that is going to be it today.
Grab a
There was
bucket.
absolutely
Yeah.
and there was absolutely no loss with that scene. I was like, you shot all this scene, you shot explosions. You could have had the guy who does all the trading, all of his stuff could have been out there, and he could have been totally upset because we could understand.
Sure.
We could attach to that, like, oh no, they blew up his stuff. He's worked so hard. He's worked for years for that. They didn't even do that much. They just said, oh, that was close.
Yeah.
Next scene, please.
Yeah. That was awesome.
We're burning daylight here, folks. Let's keep it.
Yeah.
We gotta get this thing filmed. I gotta buy a house. Let's go.
I just
Doing a walkthrough today.
it's the kind of movie though where you could see if they made a new one, you could see Statham, you could see if it was older, you could see Jean-Claude Van Damme or something. I just whole time I'm just going, Ray Liotta, I don't know, man. I like him, but this isn't the kind of role you give that guy. I'm hung up on that still. It's just not I don't think the casting is
Van
the
Damme
greatest.
would be good. It just would
He's
feel
got
like
history.
just another Van Damme film.
Yeah, but that's my point is this felt like that without him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's
yeah.
not a lot of depth outside of it. It just there's some cool ideas and there are moments where I go, all right, let's explore this, and then they don't. It's also long for no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
This movie has a completed ending in the middle of the damn thing. Like it ends in that first fight, kind of. I remember getting to that point and going, all right, I know we're only 45 minutes in, but this is a great place to end this.
I was trying to figure out if it was a statement. Are they
This
trying to
could have
make us
been an
feel like
email.
right?
Yeah.
Are they trying to make us feel like we're prisoners? Is that the emotional, artistic
I
part of
mean,
it?
maybe because I sure felt like one after a while. I doubt it. I don't think that's a
All right,
good way
well,
to
what
make
about-
people
okay,
feel. But.
Yeah.
So what about the aforementioned Kurt Russell? Could he have
Oh.
been a believable ex-military?
Yes.
Yeah, he's done it before. We watched
Yeah,
Soldier, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
Say, I would
He would've
say.
been great in this.
I would say he would be a better. Would it be a better movie if that was the cast? Yes, I think it would have been.
Yeah, I think so too.
Still would have been cheesy. Still would have its problems, but I would have gone. All right, we're just rolling. He's good at this already. He's not Mr. Stoic freaking Italian mobster face.
Right.
And it's not. I'm not saying Ray Liotta is even typecast. He's great in lots of things I've seen.
Yeah.
I just think that this is a weird fit for him. That's all. And this is only like 5 years after Goodfellas. I think so. Something like that. 89. I
Sounds
think it was 89.
86.
86? 80. I may be wrong on that.
Oh no, later. Yeah.
I know it's 80s,
Can I have a-
but I can remember what year. What? Sorry, go ahead.
Can I have a trope alert? I wanna
Always.
talk about a trope.
Always. Where is it? There it is.
So, you think the bad guy is Michael Lerner, don't you? No, actually,
yeah.
the bad guy is Stuart Wilson as Merrick. No, actually, the real bad guy was the guy with the jowls that you were overlooking
Yeah.
all along.
Mayor
This-
Ebert.
Newman's dad, basically, is what he reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, Michael Lerner is the bad guy in Elf.
Yep.
since we're
Oh,
since we're just out of
It's
the
true. I didn't think about
season,
that. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Good call.
he's so amazing, and I spent the whole movie wanting more of him, and I knew we'll get him at the end,
Mm-hmm.
right? He'll come to the island eventually.
Right.
Like there was no doubt about that. It was just like, come on, this movie really makes it so that there's one bad guy too many, in
Mhm.
my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I remember
Like,
him
I
from
can
Barton.
focus.
I remember him from Barton Fink, and so I don't think of him. It's really hard for me to see him in anything that isn't a quirky sort of Coen-like movie. So when I see him, it's either got to be comedy or something. I can't really take him seriously in a movie like this where he's supposed to be the big bad. He really reminded me of Newman's dad or uncle.
He totally did.
Yeah.
He was. We saw him in Godzilla as Mayor Ebert, which was the a slam against bad movie reviews, which they were expecting for.
Yeah.
I love it when your movie expects a bad review, so they go ahead and put a scene in it.
Yeah, we're just gonna lean into it and say, all right, Mayor Ebert, fine.
He was a senator. I don't know if that's a famous Marvel senator or not, but Senator Brickman in X-Men: Days of Future Past. Yeah,
no one that I remember from the comics.
Yeah,
but
yeah, he was in Glee. He's in all sorts. He's still in stuff. He's just in some things. Been around doing things.
He was also the bad guy in Harlem Nights, and I keep going back and forth, man. Should we back Harlem Nights?
Yes.
Should we?
Yes.
I mean, I'd do something.
I think me and Randy would just love it because I think me and Randy have a shared love for that movie that I think would.
Never seen it, so I'd love to see it for this.
Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, right?
Absolutely.
Red Fox, is that the one? Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And Michael Lerner is a like 20s gangster, and he's perfect for it. Perfect for it.
Does Eddie Murphy play 5 different characters in this thing?
No, no. He just plays almost himself. It's a very close to his natural character.
Arsenio Hall's in it as
Charlie Murphy.
Arsenio Hall is in it as Crying Man. So there's that.
Yeah, that's just a one joke.
I've never seen this, so bring it on. And we can also get confused because Danny Aiello's in this, and we can call him Mark Starr or Mike Starr a whole bunch of times because it's basically the same
Don't
guy.
eat the hot peppers, Danny Aiello.
Yep, don't do it, buddy.
Have to wash it down with ketchup and mustard to cool it off.
That's right. Oh, I'm sorry. You're Mike Starr. I keep saying Mark Starr. Mike Starr. There was one other piece of trivia I wanted to read. Oh, here it is. The same year as this film's release, a TV movie called New Eden in 1994. It was aired on the Sci-Fi Channel. This is an epic time for sci-fi crap movies.
Yeah.
The film had similar plot to that of No Escape. The TV movie is about prisoners who are dumped on a desert planet and they find themselves fighting for survival against the nomadic sand people. It's basically the same movie. And as I was reading that, I thought, I'd watch that for Film Sack. That sounds all right. Sounds like shit.
For a minute, because there's so little setup and they trim so much of they never set up the establishing of what is going on in the rest of the world. So it's a weird future movie because it's like we're in the future, but we're not going to show any of it except for one scene where there's where he's traveling over Earth and it's red, and so you think it's Mars for a minute. Like, wait, did he go to Mars? No, I think it's Earth. Are we in trouble? And so it was. I needed more. I needed more.
Also, and Space Prison was pretty futuristic looking too.
Yeah. Yes,
but it wasn't space.
And
prison.
I love space prison concepts.
But it looks like Space Prison.
It may as well have been an irradiated desert. It's remote. It's built out of huge hunks of metal. Like that's just a fun motif, regardless of what you're doing. Just always.
And they failed as well to convince me because immediately I was like, when they dropped him off the island, I'm like, holy shit, that's an upgrade. Please, yes, take me out of the shithole and throw me out to the middle of, fend for myself. Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Sign me up.
Yeah, this is another trope, and it's kind of the opposite of the island trope, right? In the island, if you go back and watch The Island and you think to yourself, oh wow, these prisoners are actually in a much better place in this prison than they would be if they went to the island. right. Like that's a weird thing about that movie. Like they live in paradise already. Why are they dreaming of going to the island? But then this movie, No Escape, like the prison is a place where people are getting tortured and the guards all have guns that they shoot at the prisoners and so on. Like of course you want to go to the island. How bad could it be?
Yeah, exactly. I would prefer that. Let's go ahead and get over with. It's like, hey, if I survive, cool. If not, then that was fun. At least I'm out of this situation of being strapped up on a giant metal X, I suppose, and getting electrical lashes.
Yeah.
Not cool.
That was kind of fun though to watch.
Yeah.
I wanted more of that. When they left the prison, the movie lost me a bit, I will admit, and it was early, so I didn't have much to really glom onto. But what are you going to do? I mean, Soldier was right around this time. That's a fantastic version of that idea. There's a bunch of like cool movies with space prisons. Alien 3 is basically that. So we have our share of those. I just was hoping that's what this movie was. And as it got started, I went, I'm going to tell these guys on Discord right now how stoked I am about a prison movie. And I started typing in our Discord, sweet, nobody told me this was a prison movie. And then he leaves and I go, oh, frick.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
And then I deleted it before I sent it. That's how short it was.
The first things I wrote was I was out even quicker than you, Scott, because I was like the first 2 or 3 minutes I was like, holy shit, this music is great. I love this music. And then like not even 2.5 minutes in, I was like, uh-oh.
Then it was bad. Yeah.
It took a turn. No.
I'm not used to that.
The first thing I wrote was, Scott's going to love this. Dude's being carried tied to a stick upside down with his face pointing right at that dude's crotch. And all he's wearing is a loincloth.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. See, I want more of that. And when they first showed all these misfits standing around, I sent you guys screen grabs. I was like, yeah. Look at this. I'm start picking out these faces and pinchy zoomy on everything. And I was like super into it. And then they just left that upside and just said, no, we'll check in with these guys when they're about to attack something. And we'll let what's-his-name vamp on screen, Stuart Wilson, a little bit. And he's great. Don't get me wrong. I really like him. He's probably the strongest element of the whole thing, our on-the-ground villain. And his impale death is one of the best I've seen in a long time. That was awesome.
Yeah. I just want to know how he survived the gun.
Yeah,
because the shot landed right behind him.
Yeah.
Like
behind him, though, quite a ways behind him. Like he was shooting at a building behind Merrick, and so.
But we then see the explosions go out for like half a mile. So
right. But he's already established that he's so lucky because he's been there for 6 years. And everybody else is like 6 months tops. So we already kind of established that he's got like luck on his side. You don't know why he survives. He's not the best fighter, but somehow he's able to hold his own against a highly trained soldier.
Mm-hmm.
Luck.
He's not your first Martin Campbell villain moment. He was a bad dude in the Zorro we saw. What was the name of that character? Let's see. Here it is.
He was the sniper, right?
Zorro. Mask of Zorro. He was Don Rafael Montero. He was like the evil dude in that. So 98. Yeah. That was the later one. Not the best of the two movies, but he's pretty good in that. So
when you get your first introduction to Merrick and he's welcoming Robbins to the former resort that they now use as their home, their base of operations. How long do you really feel like you need to do the back and forth pretending this is Club Med? Like,
oh my God! If they didn't stop with the improv class, I was going to scream.
So bad. So basically, he shows up there, and the guy says, "Oh, we've got every welcome to such and such resort. We've got every amenity. I've got a list of activities planned for you. Oh, do you take plastic? Oh, afraid we don't, but we'll get you some time with yoga and the."
Someone certainly thought they were clever in the writing room. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
And it goes on for like 5 or 6 times, back and forth. It's like, okay, we get it. We know you're not in Club Med, but how long is this little banter? Does it need to go on to sell the joke that, okay, this is not Club Med?
Yep.
Imagine though that you lived on that island and you got a new guy once a month. Like you would be so well rehearsed in those jokes.
Like, let's see how long we can take this guy. Basically, how long we can keep it going for.
Yeah. I love it. It was so terrible, but it just started becoming a game. I was like, oh Jesus, here comes another one.
One thing I always like doing is I always like to see what else speaking of the writing, what the writers are up to outside of this, because sometimes you'll find out, oh, that guy may have been a bad script here, but he did great work on a Christopher Nolan adaptation or something. Nope. Right. All three of these dudes, first two, Richard Hurley and Michael Galen, only did this. Michael Galen dabbled in something else I'd never heard of, but his real small careers. And then this Joel Gross guy, same thing, except he did The Comfort of Darkness, The Color of Flesh, two movies that never made it to air. And then finally, No Escape, the 1994 video game by the same name. He got to write the script or whatever treatment for that. So, none of this is like from these aren't people who were like, oh, the guy that wrote, Interstellar did this. Are you kidding? It's not like that. These are all just like, if this would have worked, maybe this would have been a big career moment for those guys, but
sure.
Didn't work.
No, instead they were relegated to making Club Med jokes. It was,
So of this ilk though, do we have a favorite? There's things like Fortress, Soldier, stuff like that. They're all kind of the same vibe of, you're in prison and for a reason, but now you're going to save us all. Like this trope is very common. Do we have a favorite movie like that? Because for me, it is Soldier. I love that movie.
I think Soldier,
Man.
Oh, it's a good one. Good one. Demolition Man's a good one. Plus it has some comedy, which helps. I like that.
Yeah.
Fortress isn't bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's as one of these, it's okay. Dunaway, do you got a VHS bin?
Like you said, I've already mentioned the best one. Soldier is just, I hate to reiterate it, but I didn't know that movie was so fun. I watched it when I was
12 Monkeys is another one where you pull Bruce Willis out of prison to
and an actual great movie. Yeah. That one helps that it's actually good.
It's actually good, yeah.
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 I forgot Soldier was written by the guy that wrote or co-wrote Unforgiven with Clint Eastwood. Crazy.
Oh, that's right.
Have we not done Soldier?
I feel like we have, but I don't want to. I don't want to put my bet into the pot.
Are you sure we did?
We just did this last year.
I'm looking it up.
It was 5 years ago, but yeah.
Wow. Holy snakes.
It was film
I don't remember doing a song for Soldier.
Yeah, 478.
478.
August of 2020. We were talking pre-show about how everything pandemic forward is all effed up. That's one of those examples.
It really is.
Yeah. Just last year. Universal Soldier has a taste of this, I guess. It's a different angle though. But I like this cheesy trope. I'm just going to say that this is not the best example of that trope. This movie.
Yeah. For me, the movie that I'm going to try to relate to this, that this is a stretch, but I thought of it several times, is The Running Man. And I love The Running Man. The Running Man is one of those miracles where the movie somehow is so much better than it has any right to be.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I just thought more than once, oh gosh, if only this movie had, I don't know, maybe The Island is being televised to the whole world or some trope like that.
Yeah.
I would have been a lot more entertained.
And see, that's where the Hunger Games really just took this and just walked all over it, in my opinion. It's just so much better of an idea.
It helped to have a great book series to pull from, but and it's all based on the what's the Japanese movie, Battle Royale, I guess. It's all kind of that idea of you're all on this island, go head to head and kill each other or whatever. Like it's a great trope. It's fun. It's a fun backdrop for any of these stories. You just have to write the right story within it.
Yeah, the central trope of that stuff is the private profit prison, the PPP. Once you establish, okay, we're gonna have a prison. It's gonna be run by a really magnetic and charming individual, and you go from there. There's a lot of really good storytelling that we've seen in various films. Like I say, this movie feels like it's missing something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's missing. It's also, it has one thing it doesn't need, and that's an extra 45 minutes of runtime. It has that. But I still think, I still think it was a great film sack pick, though.
For sure. Absolutely.
We like
to talk about.
We need this kind of shit, and we had that kind of shit last week too, and it's fun to do that. I forget what we're doing next, but hopefully next week we'll give us a balanced palette. I don't know what next week is. I'm scared. Let's do some clips based on the balanced palette of this film. Let's see here. I have a whole bunch of these, not too terribly many, but enough to have some fun. It's a lot of sounds. This movie was all about grunts and yells and stuff like that, not meaningful dialogue.
Before we get to this, grossed out's got the moment. The grossed out's got the most. Licking the crucifix.
100% that. 100%. I'm glad you said that because I totally forgot to bring it up. It is disgusting, and don't ever do that. Yeah, I didn't like that.
Everything about that guy.
Yeah, really. Just
that's such an oral fixation.
What grossed out's got the most? King.
That guy. King.
That guy.
Yeah, the guy with the McNeese last name, which is a weird way of. That's a weird name. McNephew, McNeese. It's weird.
Nephew.
Anyway, here's your first clip.
All right,
this is the most convincing yell in film sack history, in my opinion. Or I put not the most convincing. Sorry, the opposite of that.
All right.
Okay.
Here you go. It's early on. It's somebody in the prison. Here you go. I mean, come on.
Wow. It sounds like a Tom Hanks running through being a comedy character kind of thing.
Yeah. Finding out his house is a money pit.
Right. Oh my God. Yes. Yeah. Now listen to it again with that. Thinking
now Hanks. Everyone picture Tom Hanks. Here you go. That's so funny. Oh, that's really funny, dude. All right. I didn't even pick it up until you just did it. All right, here we go. Here's the whiny guy. That guy was a whiner.
Oh, that sounded a little bit like Michael Jackson. If you took away all of the other tracks.
Smooth criminal. All right, how about 5 minutes with Ralph?
5 minutes in the pool with Ralph.
I don't want to go in there.
Yeah.
Although Ralph got it pretty quick, kind of Indiana Jones style.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was like shot, like hit the chest, then the crotch, and then face down in the water.
Yep.
Like, oh man, which thing killed him?
Yep. And then the other guy got pushed into the Ralph water. That's not good. Nobody wants that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Here is the epic yell from our bad guy. That's great. That's another Tom Hanks.
Yes, it totally is. It's like he worked Foley work or something. Let's get Tom Hanks to do Foley work.
Weird. It's like Woody finding out that the other toys got taken or something. Oh, that's weird.
And who is that?
That's your bad guy on the island. What's his name? Stuart Wilson.
He was mad that he got away.
It's not even the same actor, and we have another Tom Hanks sound. That's nuts.
Wow.
All right, the father guy. Here he is, and if you were confused, he'll clear it up for you.
This is Mr. Hawkins, our chief of security. I'm known as the father here.
The what?
The father.
The what?
I don't know why I found that so funny, but just correct him. No, it's I said the father. It's the father. All right, I guess this is their. This is what's his name with the big bulbous frog neck guy, McNeese. Here he is.
There's nothing funny about sinus infections, bronchitis, strep throat, or pink eye. There's no antibiotics here, no penicillin. Jesus Christ, the nearest aspirin is 200 miles away. Believe me, a bad case of pink eye and your history.
Okay.
Here.
Nothing
Nothing funny about a sinus infection.
Do pay attention, Bond.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's not in one of
Put
those.
that down. You're gonna get pink eye.
James. Here's him doing a very fake sneeze. One of the worst sneezes I've ever seen performed on film. He should be reprimanded for this and have his card taken away. Here it is.
Achoo.
Come on now.
Wow.
That was really close to a huck too.
Yeah. Hot chew. He'd be the Achu guy. Achu man. You get a podcast, a meme coin. It's going to go crazy for him.
Right. It's going to be great. Oh, until that meme coin fails.
The very next day. Here are some underwear lines.
5 pairs of underwear, they're real clean.
It's gross.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Why are they clean?
What are they making underwear from?
Real clean.
I think it's from dead people, right? That was the idea, is that all his stock is from dead guys or whatever.
Or they washed up in a suitcase.
Right.
I was going to say, which underwear? The ones they were wearing or the ones he was trying to sell?
The one he was trying to
The ones
sell.
he was trying to sell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Those are size 44. And he looked around everybody and was like, well, it's not body,
yeah. Dude, 44s are pretty big, aren't they?
Yeah, he found
They're
those.
pretty
Yeah,
big.
those are.
They wouldn't fit King, but they'd be a little
I was
too
gonna
big for
say
just about
King.
everybody else.
Yeah.
I wore
You had
40.
got to share them.
I
You had
wore
to wear them
40
together.
back in 2019. I wore 40 jeans, or 2020, I guess it was. I could wear 40 a pair of 40 jeans. Now I'm down to 32 again, but I look at those now. They're massive. Those pants. How do you?
Yoda could have invited Baby Dylan into the underwear, and they could have worn them together.
You could wear them together, tandem.
Yeah.
Gross, but they're clean. I guess so that's fine. All right, pink. Who gives a shit?
They're pink, but who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Give that guy a toothbrush. Jeez Louises. All right, every punch sounded like this. They all sounded like that.
Yeah.
Just cheese like
That really hurts hitting that side of beef.
that. You know what? A-Team, exactly. That may as well be. Oh, I ain't getting in no plane, Hannibal, and then he punches somebody before they put him out. All right, here's. Oh, this is a pretty good line from Leota, I think.
Yeah, if you like roadkill.
Yeah, if you like roadkill. You notice I haven't used him a lot. He barely talks. He's not really talking in this movie that much. What's this?
Piss off!
Oh, piss off. That's fun.
Sure.
Piss off!
Piss off. Here's
I definitely knew that alcohol was going to come into that was going to be put in that V8 engine. You just saw those two things coming together, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
right.
They had to merge.
Yeah, that was. I felt like they projected it, and then it happened, and it wasn't this. Well, they did that twice. They did it when he said, "I hate rats," kind of Indiana Jones style with snakes. It's like, oh, rats. I hate rats. I'm only afraid of rats. And then there was a whole rat thing. So, yeah.
How do you land on your back on the turf and get covered with rats instantly?
Right.
Yeah. They were just waiting. Ooh.
The rats were in the trees, and as he went through the trees, the rats landed on his body, and then he landed on his back.
Oh, they were tree rats. Awesome.
Tree rats, sure.
Who knew?
I was a little mad at Ray Liotta because he's depicted as standing up and he's pulling rats off of his shoulders and throwing them down. I'm like, hey. They didn't do nothing to you.
No, they did not. All right. Did I already do this one? No, I didn't. Oh, okay. So once in a while we get like the greatest clip in the history of the show for a certain thing. And as much as this is a mediocre film in every possible definition, the best gag sound in film sack history. And I will hold it up to anything. Barton Fink having John Goodman barf in a toilet. I don't care what. This is the best we've ever heard. And it's right after Ray Liotta drinks that homemade, hooch or whatever. Okay. And this is what that sounds like. That's amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty
unbelievable
sound.
I didn't even oversell it. It's like, oh my gosh, dude.
Oh.
The only one we have better. The only one we have better is that one you did, Ibbot, that one time when you were gagging on that.
The real one from, the thickened liquid, the thickened iced tea.
Yeah. Well, that will probably lead the pack forever, but that was pretty good. All right, here's an epic laugh from No Escape. All right. Another one.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was your
that
guy
sounded
again.
really familiar.
This is Merrick again. Yeah,
that sounded like what's his name in the Lego Batman?
Tom Hanks.
Oh. Mark Hamill?
Sounds Tom Hanksy.
No, the
all I hear is Tom Hanks today.
A little bit.
Brian is you've branded this movie forever. I'm never going to not hear it. I'll probably never see it again. Yeah, just like that. Perfect. I still have that somewhere. All right, typical Lance Hendrick sound. Or Hendrickson. I wrote Hendrickson is what I meant. Yeah, I did like Dunaway. That seems like a sound he would make a lot, like Ace Hanlon getting shot.
It also sounds like the sound my dad used to make first thing in the morning, like he's going to the bathroom and clearing his throat or something.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. This is how my dad cleared his throat. It was rough.
Oh, jeez.
Here's a sound I always like, so I captured it. I like a party favor sound.
Wow. I want Miyagi to say happy birthday after that.
Happy birthday. You're right. It's perfect. You ain't done something.
You ain't done shit.
Oh, it's
he's so good at that.
lava tubes.
He's really good at that.
You ain't
Making
done
you feel
shit.
stupid.
You really want to be in charge?
I really want to be in charge.
Okay. Well, get in there then.
Deal.
Get the work going. And this is, I think, I'll say this. I didn't edit this at all. And that's not true. I totally did. But I want you to hear it as if it's not edited. Okay? Pretend I didn't tweak this.
All right.
Here you go. Enjoy.
I've been here for 13 years. From the beginning. I helped build this place with my sweat. And I watched a lot of good men sweat defending it.
Sweat.
By the way, sweat. Did I mention some sweat?
Sweat. I don't know why.
Scott, I put in our Discord channel.
Yeah.
I put the laugh that you pulled from this movie.
Oh, let's give this
from another movie.
Let's play this. Give this a shot. Oh, weird. Yeah, that's pretty close. Let's play that again. Yeah, they're in the same boat. Same boat.
Great.
That's a pretty good catch. Good job. All right, final note. This is some weird lines from this movie. I didn't expect it. It just seemed out of place, but here it is.
ziti with the meat gravy, and I'm planning to roast some peppers over the flames, and I was going to put on some string beans with some olive oil and garlic, and I had some beautiful cutlets that were cut just right.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's from Goodfellas. I apologize.
I was just about to say, I don't recall that. I was like, is that during the food scene where they were doing the gruel?
Yeah, that's what I was hoping you would think.
How is that funny? Is it like a clown funny? How is that funny?
Tell me how I'm funny. Hey, you're just funny. You're a funny guy. Dude, that scene. Oh, that movie. I love that movie so much. All right. Enough of that. Now this. It's time for the Film Sack Checklist, and it goes a little like this. Whoops, I lost it. There it is. Rat fight? Check. Could listen to Hendrickson narrate anything? Check. Henriksen is what I meant. Newman's dad and Baron Harkonnen are dead meat in the end? Check. It left me a little dry. I wanted those two to really eat it, and then they ran credits. It kind of bummed me out the way it ended. Yeah. It's like, you're going to make your movie this long? Give me 5 more minutes of those two dying in a bad way. Like, what are you doing? Like Big Neck and Newman just dying out in the forest. It would have been great. Right. Star Trek connections, bound to be a few. I don't know who they would.
Nope,
what?
Nothing. So let's go too deep. Because none of these people were ever in any Star Trek. But I found some great too deep connections. So Kevin Dillon was in Buddy Game Spring Awakening with James Roday Rodriguez, who was in Christmas Eve with Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
And then Ernie Hudson was in Levitation with Antonio Fargas, who was in Fist of the Warrior with Michael Dorn.
Okay.
And then Ray Liotta was in Crossing Over with Jacqueline Obradors, who was in Atlantis: The Lost Empire with Leonard Nimoy.
Wow.
There.
Okay.
Now you got some distant connections.
I was sure Michael Lerner would be your Star Trek guy. I just don't know why. I didn't look it up, but I just thought
he feels like it.
Yeah.
He really feels like he should have been. I can't stop thinking of him in Dune, though. He should have been in a floating wheelchair, right? Like,
yeah.
And he should have a tube that he sucks on. I don't know what else to.
Oh, you mean McNeese? Yeah. No, Lerner would be like the Newman-looking guy. He sounds like somebody that Picard would have to reason with. Some planetary mishap. The guy's got a misshapen forehead.
Could he be the new Mud? Maybe
kind of Mud-like. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something about him. He should have been on Star Trek.
Yeah. The problem is he sounds like a New Jersey judge.
Yeah.
Like that's really all he can do is in his delivery.
Yeah.
So you kind of need him. You don't get like I can't think of him in Star Trek without him being a judge of some kind.
He fits the role. You're totally right. All right. Well, there's your lack of connections. Although Too Deep is fun. I like that. Soundtrack graded. Give it a B for bad. I thought it was bad. You can fight me on this if you want, but I didn't like it. I thought it was terrible.
No.
Started strong in the prison stuff, and then it went to shit after that.
Absolutely no fight from us, man.
Yeah. Sounds like we're all in agreement here. All right. It's the social media post time. This is where you guys sum it up in 280 characters or less. And I think this time we'll start with Randy.
I got a haiku for you.
Do it.
Ooh. No escape. Malevolent isle. One man, he leave, and he fly. A helicopter.
That's good. Okay. I love a haiku, but I always forget they're a haiku until they're done.
Right. They always seem to it's really like, oh yeah, I guess that was 14.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
The phrase malevolent isle really tickled me. So
malevolent isle.
That's good. All right. Sorry. Where are we now? Oh, Brian Dunaway. Give it.
Give it. No escape. I don't think we're in the 100-acre wood anymore, Mr. Robbins. Oh, bother.
Oh.
Hashtag, but who gives a shit?
Oh, bother. Nicely done.
Bother.
Brian Ibbett, take us home.
No escape. Welcome to the origins of the Dharma Initiative.
Sure. Had moments where it kind of felt like that.
Little
losty. Not in not in a great way.
Did you actually feel like Michael Lerner was stranded there at the end, or like they're just going to send another helicopter and pick him up, right?
Did you think it was?
They're sending more helicopters.
Yeah, they were 10 minutes out.
It's just I don't know. There was something that wasn't fulfilling about the very end.
Do you think it was sequel bait? Like they thought they had something on their hands there with a little follow up, maybe?
No.
I just don't think they wanted to film it. I'll be honest with you. I feel like a lot of times this movie is just like, do we need to film that? Nah.
You know what it's like? It's a parent who's getting tired reading a book to their kid, and they say, and they all went on and did something at the end.
They all lived happily ever after.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. She just fell asleep with the bears.
Go to bed, Billy. Go to bed. It's freaking 9:30. What are you doing up still? Yeah, that's how that felt. I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Well, now on to the alternate titles. These were just handed to me moments ago. This was almost called a bubblegum Christmas. Oh man, they missed an opportunity there.
Wow.
Forgot about that dumb bubblegum thing.
Yeah.
Just about, it was too long, but they almost went with Henry Hill discovers a camp run by Father Ace Hanlon Bishop with security help from Winston. And that's as far as I got.
Nice.
Let's get to the emails today. We got, actually, this one's a text, it looks like, and then the other one's an email. The first email is from Paul Einselin. Who says, please sack Kin from 2018. And that's all he said.
Okay.
I don't know
Okay.
what kin is. K-I-N. Let's go look at it. Kin is kin tells
So
us
not K-E-N. That's a different movie entirely.
entirely. That's 2021.
Yeah.
That's not it. Hold on.
That's the sequel to Barbie.
2018, is it? It's not coming up for me. Oh, here we go. 2018. Chased by a vengeful criminal, the feds and a gang of otherworldly soldiers, an ex-con and his adopted teenage brother go on the run with a weapon of mysterious origin as their only protection. This sounds like shite.
I think we started watching this. Yeah.
James Franco, Dennis Quaid. What?
Wow.
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz, Carrie Coon. Oh, my Lord. I'm in. Let's do it. Michael B. Jordan. What the hell is this?
Yeah.
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 Jonathan
Midnight
Baker
Run? What is
wrote it.
this?
It's crazy to me. Okay. I think we get that on the list.
Okay.
I've never heard of this.
Sure.
PG-13, 5.8 out of 10 on 9BB. That's enough to fit our category of what we're willing to do to ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
All right. I'm in.
I wish there were more famous Michael Jordans. I need Michael J. Jordan and Michael P. Jordan.
Yeah. I like the B because it means it has two meanings. It can be like be like
Right.
him, you know? I like that. It's pretty good. But,
Michael He Jordan.
Michael He Jordan.
Yeah.
Michael She Jordan. Yeah, why not? Michelle B. Jordan. How about that? All right. Moving on. Here's an email. This is one from, who's this from? Joe from Plymouth, Minnesota, who says this. Recently, I took the time to rewatch the movie Rad, a BMX and freestyle bike movie I remember fondly from the days of bikes and renting VHS tapes. Well, that's Dunaway's town right there.
Right at my hooch.
Right up your hooch. The movie centers around a final race on Hell Track, but every time they said it would only, every time they said it, I could only hear Randy exclaiming "Race Wars" from the Fast and the Furious sack. He saes that review was a true gem. He says, yeah.
And this movie was a shot to the heart of my generation. This movie was made for me and my little friends.
Oh yeah.
And not only was this kid, and I'm trying to remember who played the main kid. I can't remember his name, but
Christian Slater in that?
no, it was like
it was.
Why am I visualizing Christian Slater?
I am
Is that
too.
Gleamy the Cube? Probably Gleamy the
Oh,
Cube.
Yeah,
Gleaming the
that's
Cube. You're right. It's
this one.
Bart,
This one.
Bart Connor, whoever that is. I don't know who that is.
Okay, he had to race this race right on Hell Track, and the race was going to take place at the exact same time his whole class was going to have to sit for their SATs. And
Wow.
and so like it's a choice between BMX racing and going to college.
Wow.
It's awesome.
That's
which
great.
one he chose.
He chose the rad choice is what he did. Let's see.
That's right.
1986. I think that this is not
Randy.
streaming. No, it's on not
This
streaming.
Talia
This is
Shire from
something-
Rocky, Lori Loughlin, and Ray Walston.
Yeah, dude.
Randy, they're showing this is part of the Fathom events thing too. So apparently they're running this.
Oh, really? Like you'll see it in
The
theaters
theaters.
right now?
Yeah.
Why?
Why?
That's
it's
a very
it's actually a really great shot film. It's it's goofy, but
Is it?
what you gonna do?
All right. Well, look at this Ray Walston throwing the bird. Look at that. That's a pretty good shot. Check that
I
out.
love it. You
Yeah.
love any picture of anybody throwing the bird.
Oh, I love it.
Which,
Huge
which
fan.
I'm here to fully support.
I'm a giant fan of bird throwing. It's great, especially famous people and old people throwing birds. Oh man,
Yeah.
it's so good.
Yeah.
All right, quick text also came to us 801-471-0462. This came to us from Paul. Paul says, "I've been listening to the soundtrack for Tron Legacy. Talk about a soundtrack that had no business being this good. Can you think of any other soundtracks that go so hard for a relatively lackluster movie?" Says Paul. Well, two things, Paul. First thing I would say to Paul is I feel exactly the same way in every way except having rewatched Legacy. I liked it a lot more than I thought I did. That movie needs to be seen almost out of the hype bubble to be appreciated because it's very, very cool.
I happen to be in possession of a top 5.
Oh my gosh, do it.
The top 5 is scores for bad film sack movies. So these are going to be movies that we didn't really like, and the score goes freaking hard.
All right.
And we sacked it. So you can go back and listen to us after you rewatch these movies. Number 5 is Enrico Morricone's Red Sonja.
Yeah.
Red Sonja was such a bad movie that I think we all kind of missed how great the music was.
I also thought it was Sonya, but what do I know?
Red
Well, it's also-
Sonja.
Yeah.
Sonja!
And it's also Ennio Morricone.
Enrico.
I don't think there is.
I think it's
not Enrico.
No, I think it's
okay,
Ennio.
you're right.
Ennio
Yeah.
Morricone.
My brain is really stuck on the Cone.
You want Enrico Palazzo.
Okay, so moving on. Number 4 is Dragonheart, the Randy Edelman score for Dragonheart. We didn't like that movie, but the score goes real hard. We talked about it many times. Number 3 is the score for Judge Dredd.
Oh yeah.
Go back and listen to the I wish you could turn off the dialogue because it's so bad.
Yeah.
But Alan Silvestri's score is fantastic. Number 2, which we just did last year, was John Barry's score for You Only Live Twice. You Only Live Twice is the one that took place in the Far East, right?
Oh yeah.
And
right.
And the score was so great.
It was good. Yeah.
Man. Movie's terrible.
Yeah.
Number 1, I can't imagine a film ever having a better score and being a worse film, is Star Trek V, Jerry Goldsmith. It's
it's not.
Trust me, if you can just listen to the music from Star Trek V, you will thank me.
Yeah, forget that it's because that movie is such a bad representation of all things Trek, of good direction, of right. Like, it's just a piece of shit, that movie.
Yeah.
But you're right. Goldsmith never phoned it in. He was always good. Good list. For me, it's hard to say. I would have said Tron Legacy, but I've appreciated the movie more lately. I think that movie's great and matches the tone. And I'm excited about Ares as a result. But probably you know what? It's funny. I had the most access to this email, and I don't have an answer. I don't think I have a good answer. Because I even put it in our chat yesterday. I'm like, hey, in case you guys want a little heads up on this, which Randy clearly acted on because you got an awesome list.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, this will really give these guys a heads up. And now I can't think of the one I was going to say. So Brian Ibbett, do you have an answer to his question?
God, I've been thinking about it too.
Oh, I know. Passion of the Christ, not Passion of the Christ. What's the one Scorsese did with Willem Dafoe? It was a real weird one. It was the
Last Temptation.
Last Temptation of Christ. It's my brain's not working, but it's in your eyes. He did like a
Peter Gabriel.
Peter Gabriel did a purely acoustic soundtrack for that movie. It's awesome. It's very weird, and you wouldn't ever know that it's him making the soundtrack until someone tells you. That's the one. And I don't like that movie at all, but I love that soundtrack. Okay, I did it.
Right. Does it have to be? I mean, the movie's good, but separately from the soundtrack. I'm a huge fan of Knopfler's Princess Bride soundtrack, but it's a good movie. It's not like, I know it's like this music has no business being as good as it is, but
maybe it's a variation where you say the movie is good, yes, and the soundtrack is good, but it's also what makes it great is how unlikely it should be good.
Yeah.
Not that Knopfler can't, obviously he's a fantastic musician, but hiring him to do your soundtrack is a weird idea that worked really, really well.
There we go. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. That soundtrack is awesome. It's so good.
It really is so good.
Dunaway, do you have a pick?
Absolutely. You're kidding me? Flash Gordon.
Oh, that's a great one. Queen's soundtrack for Flash Gordon.
It is so freaking. I mean, you almost forget that it wasn't just a giant music video, and it was actually a movie.
Yep.
I feel like that. I'm kind of a big fan of.
It is really amazing. Like
times
when a score is so good, so much better than the movie, that late in the movie, when you're watching Flash Gordon, they'll start up the score just to get you interested in the movie again. You'll be just like watching. You're going,
forget how badass this was.
Yeah, and then you hear the very beginning, dun, 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 and you're like, "Oh, this is gonna get good."
Oh, yeah, I like this. Yeah.
That's great. I love it. These are all good ones. I love the question, Paul. Thank you for sending that in. That was awesome.
If you've never watched Sucker Punch, I gotta say that I really like the music to it. I think probably more than anything, it's just a big giant music video, and I just love the music.
I'm actually a fan of most Snyder movie soundtracks are really great. Like we can nitpick about his movies all we want, but really they're kind of awesome. Yeah.
He started as a music video director, so makes sense.
Yeah, why not? All those guys, they have a taste for it. Well, thank you all for your feedback. filmsack@gmail.com or 801-471-0462. A quick mention of some of our regular patrons who we appreciate so much. It's a new year, folks. Time to get in and support your favorite movie podcast. People like Chris Piven, Ricardo Wormt, I'm not sure. It's Wermuht. I'm not sure how you say
Ernest P. World.
Wormhoot. I'm not sure. And Jaina Polkinghorn. These are three real people, and they're big, longtime supporters, and we appreciate them so much. If you want no commercials ever, pre-show content every week, monthly host specials. One just went up. It was Brandy. It was well, you can call it that because the two of them work together. But anyway, it was Brian Ibbett and Randy.
Brandy. Please don't call them Brandy.
It was awesome. I really enjoyed it. It was a great discussion about Oscar nominations and snubs. Like who should have gotten them and didn't get them this year. I think that should be a tradition, by the way, moving forward. It was really good.
I like it. Yeah, I'm up for it.
It was real good. Anyway, if you want that and get those every month, you can get that art-related mail art-related prints in the mail. What am I trying to say? Movie-related art prints in the mail. There we go. Got it. Other cool monthly benefits that you can take advantage of if you sign up today at patreon.com/filmsack. Filmsack.com has links to all this stuff. And other ways to contact us. And there's even a form right there on the page if you want to just send us a quick message. Use it at your leisure, and also leave us reviews wherever you get your podcasts. What are we watching next week? I don't actually know.
We're taking the next step in a project that we started a year ago, and we're going to watch Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen, the second Transformers movie.
Okay.
It was exactly the same cast almost as the first. Directed by Michael Bay, stars Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox and so on. And we're gonna see just how fast and how far this thing can fall.
Yeah, yeah. Started kind of low to begin with, but it turns out they can fall out further.
Is this? But I seem like there was some things I liked about it. Like didn't they have like the Constructicons in that one?
Yes,
am I thinking that later?
Yes.
Okay,
that's the one.
Yeah.
And then they got the Dino whatever they were called, the next one. And then the one, or the most recent one's the Beast Wars one. I mean, the only good one, like critically good one, is Bumblebee, and that movie's fantastic.
I do want to see Transformers 1, though, now that it's streaming.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good, Brian.
Like it would be.
I mean, it's
good.
It's animated. It's, it's all that. It's very different than the movies, clearly. But we haven't talked about that at all on the show. That is a great movie. It's good.
I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot next week.
We probably will. Come back and join us for that.
Maybe I'll watch it between here and then.
Available now on Paramount Plus, I believe, or Peacock or something.
Right. Yes, the Transformers is streaming on Paramount. It's going to be our first. It's going to be our first episode of February. It's like we have to do this because we trust Paramount to have it, and we don't trust any other service to carry over anything.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching a lot more Paramount than I thought I ever would. It's quickly becoming in my top 2 streamers for just what I want, what I'm in the mood for. So that's good for them.
They're killing it right now.
They started out so crappy. It was CBS All Access.
Oh my God, CBS thing.
The interface was crap. Everything.
Yeah, it was really bad. And then it became the Star Trek network for a hot second, and then it became this bigger thing. And it's really good now. So check it out.
I'm thoroughly ensconced in Apple TV right now. Like it's so there's so much
stuff on there.
They don't make shit. They don't make any shit. It's all good.
And which is so much of it. Like I was just like browsing around, like, oh look, there's a Chris O'Dowd show called The Big Door Prize. I will look. Yes. Man, there's already 2 seasons of it. How did I not even know this exists?
Yeah.
Oh, it's such a good show. Yeah. And we've got Mythic Quest is coming back.
I'm hearing season 4 is the best they've done. Like it's supposed to be real good.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Excellent.
Yeah, it's what I mean. I know it's easy. You can get cynical out there and go, I don't know, Apple does Apple. Like you're missing out. It's one of the things Apple is anal about is like make no garbage. You may not want to pay for it. It may not be your thing, but they're really hardcore about it with their hardware, with everything really. This is the attitude on TV. And as it turns out, it's a real good attitude to have because none of it sucks. They may not be in a genre you like, but the genres you will like on there, you're not going to walk away disappointed. So good.
Exactly.
Anyway,
well said.
Tim Apple owes us some money now. That's going to do it for today. Thank you all for listening. It has been a pleasure being your Film Sack deliverers today, and thank you for being our patrons. That'll do it for us, for me, for Brian, and for Randy.
We've got to go.
We'll see you next time.
Frog Pants. The F is for fun. The R is for right on. The OG is for OGs. That was good. and then pants.